This past week on the channel we've been looking at various pieces of cut content from Tiberian Sun, and we started this off by examining and restoring the Dropship loadout menu. However, when I made the video I really only looked at one side of the equation, and that was how you could select your reinforcements before the mission began, and didn't look at how those reinforcements might have originally intended to have been deployed. During the game's development there was actually a structure known as the Dropship Bay, and this would have been either placed on the map ahead of time or perhaps constructed by the player at their own cost. Once constructed, a number of dropships would make delivery of your selected reinforcements, or perhaps even periodic reinforcements coming throughout the mission. At some point late in development it was decided to remove this structure, despite the fact that it had even gone so far as to partially create some cutscenes including the building. And so instead, whenever Orca dropships would appear on the map, they would just land at any chosen location without the need of a designated building for their arrival. However, the structure does still exist in the game files, and it's relatively easy to reintroduce it to the player. There are a couple of restrictions on what maps you can use it on, but if you had custom maps in mind, there are plenty of applications you could come up with for it. And finally, as a little bonus, I'm going to look at two other things that were removed from the tech tree. The Orca transports and sandbags both appear in the campaigns, but with a minimum of effort we can make them available to the player. Okay, so we have three things we want to re-enable here. Let's start with the simplest, that is going to be sandbags here. So we scroll down and all I need to do is change tech level to 2. So you can see prerequisite barracks, that's a generic structure that refers to both the GDI barracks and the Hand of Nod. So we can leave that as is, so both GDI and Nod have access to it. One final thing we want to add in is guard range. Now this is a bit of a misnomer for building structures, but what it does is it allows that kind of line to be drawn along the ground when you're placing these things, so it will connect 2 points in much the same way it does when you're placing walls or firestorm or laser fence. Without that you're going to have to place it like you did in Tiberian Dawn, just each individual segment at a time, and that's a lot slower. It kind of ruins any potential effectiveness of this. So that's the sandbags done. The next thing I want to do is go to the Orca transport. And I think that is up from here. Okay, here we go. You can see it's already got the statistics all added in here. So at one point in time this would have been available for purchase and construction, then cost 1200. I'm going to change tech level to 7. I think that's a good number there. One higher than the APC, one lower than the Orca bomber. And again, that's pretty much all we need to do here. So the last thing we need to do is find the dropship bay. So if I go down here now, we're going to get to dropship bay. You can see it's been marked as obsolete, but that's not entirely true. In theory, you should be able to build it at tech level 9, but the one thing that we can't, or stops us from doing that, is a dome here. This refers to the red alert radar dome. Obviously that's not a structure that exists anymore, so we want to change it to either the generic radar or specifically the GDI radar. Since it's only going to be GDI that has this structure, again it has all its statistics already filled out, including power, cost, strength, and again tech level 9. So we can reasonably deduce that this would have been a later game structure. So that's us pretty much finished in rules. All I need to do now is save that and transfer it over to rules.ini. Now though the art assets exist in the files for the dropship bay, they're not indexed in this file rules.ini. So what we need to do is add them in. So I'm going to go down to the start of the building section here, and what I will do is enter this block of text just here. Now there are a number of different examples of this online you can find. I find this one works just fine for me. I've seen some examples that are missing this line, which is kind of crucial. Foundation 3x3, that's the area of ground that's going to take up. I'll let you know as well that the art assets only exist in the temperate climate, so either you need to manually extract the art assets and add them into the snow mix file, or you just need to limit yourself to only using these in missions that are set in kind of desert environment. You can see here that it's actually relying on the animations for the GDI upgrade center. I'll try and build one of those and place it alongside it so you can have a look at the two side by side. You'll notice that one area of the dropship bay was reused in the upgrade center. That kind of relates to another particular aspect of this game's development history I'm going to talk about in a future episode, but we'll leave this for now. With that done, we're all set to reload the game and have a look at what effect our changes have had. Okay, so we've just placed down our GDI tech center here, giving us access to our dropship bay, and I'm also going to build one of our new Orca transports. You can see that both structures, or the structure and the vehicle here, have cameos in the sidebar already, so they were intended for use during the gameplay or game's development phase, but probably for balance reasons in this case here, or just because they couldn't find a good function for it in the case of the dropship bay, they removed them before the game released. Let's place down our dropship bay just here. Oh, we've got a helpful crate, let's grab that. And I'm also going to build the upgrade center. Oh great, we've got some cloaked light infantry, how useful. Here's our awkward transport as well. You can see what I've done is I've disabled the helipad equals yes line of code for the dropship bay. Now the reason for that is because the animation or the sprite doesn't draw correctly. If you try to place an aircraft on it, unless it's a very large aircraft like the dropship, you're going to have the center of this building overwrite the sprite. So basically that much of this awkward transport would be invisible and you'd only see the corners of it. It's not an ideal case. Like I said, the structure was removed before the game's release. What I'm going to do here is just place an upgrade center alongside, and you can see the similarities in this area of the building here. It's a kind of shared asset between the two. They reused this part of the building for the upgrade center. Okay, what I'm going to do here is demonstrate the guard range here. So you can see that kind of outline of the placement of sandbags. Without guard range you wouldn't have that, but with it I can place that down and we get a full line of sandbags here. So I can sandbag off this area should I choose to do so. And there we go, that is us done. That's a demonstration of the cut pieces of technology, the Orca transport, the dropship bay, and also the sandbags here as well. These, the transports and the sandbags obviously appear at numerous points throughout the campaign, so you can't build either. The dropship bay though, completely removed, not present even as a mission objective, so it's a cool little thing to re-enable and have a look at. Unfortunately you can't use it as any sort of landing pad for your aircraft. I do perhaps use it as a way of enabling higher tech structures or units in any mods I might make. Hello artillery, we'll deal with you. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the series on cut content for the Command & Conquer games, I have a couple more coming up, as well as some other Command & Conquer related projects. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me again soon for another video.